Today's episode is all about hanging baskets, how they can add that little pizzazz to your patio. Garth and I'll show you how easy it is to make your very own hanging basket. So, this is the plan. This is what you need. You're going to need 1 times bowl, which is going to be your mold. You are going to need a sponge. You're going to need 3 pieces of little copper tubing, which are probably about 2 centimeters in length, and a small little piece of PVC piping, which is about the same length, and some sphagnum moss. And sphagnum moss you can buy from your local garden centre. The most important part to make this all happen is we're going to need a bit of concrete. Right, Garth, we're going to need to use something pretty different here, because it's not going to be a standard mixture which is going to be sloppy, because we've got nothing actually to hold it.
That's right, yeah.
So what are you going to go with?
We're going to go with like a floor mix, Tanya. It's a very dry, it's called a dry mix, but it's got very little water in.
Okay.
Where you can, if you squeeze, you can really make a nice round ball.
Yeah.
And if you compact it, it comes so hard.
So what we've got is half buckets as our form of measurement. We've got half a bucket of river sand, and we've got half a bucket of PPC cement. In that goes let's give that a bash. This is the one, Garth.
Yep.
You'll notice that even when you squeeze it, that there is no moisture coming out of it. So you can see that the agitation was done very, very well. This is perfect. We can make balls with this. Right, in we go. Right, Garth, we've got our delicious looking Krimmel pup mixture.
Yep.
And we're ready to go. Now, what we're needing at this point is our little piece of PVC piping. We're going to put that in the middle, because that is going to act as our drainage hole. That is going to create the little hole that we need, which saves us having to drill and do all those sorts of things. So pop him over there. Garth, you're going to whack around the mixture. And you know what, guys? Actually, it's way easier just to use your hands to pack this mixture in, instead of trying to use a trowel, because you really are going to be working it in. That's it, Garth. Now, we spoke about the sphagnum moss, and this is what we're going to do with the moss. Similar to how we've made the hypertufas in the past to give it some character. The moss, if you put that on the outside as you start working, so you put just a little bit of moss, you can see it through there, and then you pack your next lot on there. Okay, take it, and then pack it through. And as you start working, make sure you've got some moss there to give it the character that you want. Remember, don't get too stressed about how thick your base is, because most of us overcompensate and make the base like yo thick, and then you end up with very little area to plant in. So use this little piece of PVC piping that you've put in there as your guide. So make sure that your concrete mixture fills just to the top of the PVC piping, and then you're safe, and then you know that your hanging basket is not going to fall through. And you know, with this, you don't need to be so finicky and worried about what the inside is going to look like, because you're going to end up planting it up in any case. Alrighty, we've filled up all the way along the insides of our mold, and the last bits that we're doing are just finishing off at the top. Be careful not to go too thin as you start nearing the top, because that's kind of instinctively, you just start doing that. So make sure that your top is still nice and thick, all right, because of course this is going to be a hanging basket and not just a pot that's going to be sitting on a surface. So once we've done that, I quite like the effect of leaving it a little bit rough on the edges. And now this is where these little copper pipes come into play, where we've had those. What we're going to do, and this is going to form the holes for where we're going to be putting the hanging parts through. Remember, an ordinary hanging basket that you normally buy from the garden centres normally have 3 chains, which then meet into the centre. We're going to try something different, but we still do need a hole to go through here. So instead of drilling, which will weaken it, we're going to stick this guy through, and we're going to put him quite low down, at least 5 centimetres down. And all we're going to do is just push that through until we feel it reaching. There we go, can't go anymore. It's got to the edge of our mould. Garth, you whack that guy in over there. Now I've got this oak here. In he goes. Yeah, there we go, right at the edge. So those are safely in place. And now all we do is leave it to dry. This guy is probably going to take maximum of 2 days to dry because it's already quite a dry mixture. So the good news is we made one a little earlier. Shall we show you what that looks like?
Can't wait.
Let's do it. Yay! Okay, I'm very excited about this, Garth.
Yes.
First time we've ever attempted a concrete hanging basket. So, Garth, best way to do this is put your hand in there. I'm going to turn the baby over. There we go. I'm going to slip this off. Oh, oh, oh! It's beautiful. Man! Geronimo!
Covered nice.
This is hot, Garth. Seriously hot. I dig it. Take a look. Remember the PVC piping that we put in to create our drainage hole? Well, look how easy. Bang, out it comes. There's our drainage hole. Fantastic. The 3 bits of copper that we put in stay here. If you look really closely, you can see them embedded inside the concrete, and that must stay because that just helps to give it extra strength and stops this from having friction and rubbing and breaking. That's what we want, but most importantly, I just love this moss. Garth, it's just got such a gorgeous look, very organic against the smoothness here. And remember, with hanging baskets, that is what you see. Most times people are looking at this with the plants cascading over the edge, so you want your bowl to look as beautiful as possible. Rightio, here's our hanging basket, and now we're going to plant this baby up. Now, first things first is we've got to get our rope in. Of course, it is hanging, so we need something to hang it on. This is just some ordinary rope that you can get from your local hardware store. So the way we're going to do it is as follows. We're going to take the end of the rope and we're going to put it through one of the holes right here, and then we're going to do 3 knots. 3 should be okay, Garth?
Yes, 3 will hold it.
3, 2, all on top of each other, so you're making it nice and thick. That's going to come back. Take a look at that. See, pulling on it, that ain't going anywhere. All right. Now, don't cut it too short, whatever you do at this point. So think about keeping it quite long. Okay, right. Chop them off there, Garth. Good job, Batman. All right, let's do another one over here. 3 knots. Last one. Okay, now the trick is here, at this point, don't cut the 3rd one. This one you want to leave intact, and the reason for that is as follows. We're going to take these guys, join them all together, just like that, because one of them is still going to have to hook up to wherever you're going to be hanging. That's really important. So take a look at them, make sure it's equidistant, you've got the right length going on here, and now at this point you will take them and you can do just an ordinary knot. Garth, will you grab the end of that rope for me there, please, down there? Right, making sure that you've held it, and then just give it a good tug. There we go. Right, now we've got 2 which are hanging loose. These guys, we can snip those off. Brilliant, because here we have got now our basket that will hang like that. Okay, so we've got all that out the way. Now we can start planting it up. And here we've got some good potting soil, really nice mix. And then all you're going to do is add just a few little spadefuls into your hanging basket. Now, Garth, this is going in a really sunny spot, this hanging basket.
Okay.
So I've chosen some plants which are going to do exceptionally well. Ultimately, we want them to cascade over the edge and look beautiful and gorgeous. So I've gone with good old faithful echeverias, beautiful plants. And let's pop 1 or 2 of these out, Garth, and I'm going to use those in the center. I've also got some of these sedums. This is a beautiful bronze sedum. Absolute stunner of note. And you'll see, Garth, when you put them in there, yeah, pop them in over there for me. I'm going to put my little sedum in right next to it. Now, this is a creeping ground cover sedum. You'll notice as we pop it in there, look what it's going to do to that echeveria. It's just going to make it come alive. The contrast of the red against the dry concrete and against this beautiful moss on the edge. Stunner, stunner. Okay, bring him in, Garth. Pop him in there. Fantastic. Okay, we've got a lot of that, and this little baby is going to go in right here. Oh, man. All right, and last little bits. Remember, always have your paintbrush handy. Let's just tidy it up, dusting it all off. Oh, man. This is looking absolutely gorgeous. And there you have one times gorgeous hanging basket. That all needs to happen now is for us to go and hang it up and put it somewhere beautiful. Stunning, Garth.
Very, very nice, Tanya. Love it.
Beauty. Beautiful. Still to come, we show you a simple way to hang the basket, as well as discuss more plant options that you can use.